Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, they do. We've already told you about the brand new house from hell that has a garage that Countryside Properties said could only be used at the owner's risk, with unfinished lintel and a cheap garage door that wasn't fitted properly, and also all the cracks everywhere in the house. No boiling hot water, a faulty freezer, cheap carpets and underlay, a washing machine that shakes the whole house, taps that don't function properly, and of course those creaky toilets. But far worse has emerged since our last video. It's been discovered that in spite of a safety certificate being issued for her brand new house, confirming that the electrical system had been inspected, checked and signed off as safe, there was in fact no earth in the house. When the junction box was checked, it was found that the earth had never been connected and had been left dangling dangerously. Not only that, but there were several other wires not protected as well. The house was a living time bomb and could have burned down at any time, with the owner inside. She immediately notified Countryside Properties about this highly dangerous situation, expecting them to treat the matter with the urgency it deserved. She heard nothing. She had to move out of her house while her own electrician checked things out. But that's not all. One day she came home to discover water pouring down through the whole ceiling and down the walls. It was coming from an airing cupboard on the upstairs landing. Again she contacted Countryside Properties. Again they did nothing. Her own plumber discovered that the wrong connection had been installed, and to make matters worse, it was just finger tight. When she had the whole house inspected, it was discovered that all the plumbing connections throughout the whole house, including all the radiators, were just finger tight. She was lucky the whole house had not been flooded. There are more problems. In July 2014, she informed Countryside Properties that the outside render on her brand new house had blown. This is another major problem, and Countryside said this would have to be sorted before the winter. They've done nothing, and we are approaching a second winter. Floor tiles started to crack and needed to be replaced. When the cracked ones were removed, it was discovered that instead of being laid on plywood, screwed down every 6 inches, they'd been laid on chipboard. After almost 2 years in her new house, she's still waiting for proper patio doors in her dining room, not to mention all the other issues we've highlighted. Countryside Properties have now stopped replying to her emails. Remember the promises they made in their pre-sales advertisements? Countryside has produced some of the best housing built in the UK over the last few years. Buy a new home from Countryside and there'll be no nasty surprises or extra maintenance costs waiting for you. Nothing could be further from the truth. They are an absolute disgrace. Could things get any worse? Watch this space.